Hello, I'm Dini, your coach, helping you delivering day-to-day provoking questions to become a better you. You learn, you grow, start from today. In this channel, I will read out loud the conversation between me and AI, a list of curated questions dedicated for those who are interested in organizational development, HR, and neuroscience. AI is a scholarly partner for you to have through discussions as long as you already read, understand, and practice the subjects. This will be conducted in English, not in Bahasa. I hope you could learn something from each chapter or each question I have and benefit from it. A delightful conversation with scholarly AI. Chapter 21. Risk Management. Part 2. Questions. 3. Can you explain more about KRI? 4. What's the difference between KRI and top 10 risk in banking, for example? 5. Did both KRI and top 10 risk state how to mitigate the risk? 6. So, in GCG, we assess risk management in generic terms, while in financial, like banking, insurance industry, we use more specific measurement. 3. Can you explain more about KRI? Key risk indicators, or KRIs, are metrics used to monitor and manage specific risks within an organization. KRIs are an essential component of a risk management framework, as they provide early warnings of potential risks and enable organizations to take proactive measures to mitigate them. Characteristics of KRIs. Effective KRIs should have the following characteristics. 1. Relevant. KRIs should be aligned with the organization's overall risk management strategy and objectives. 2. Measurable. KRIs should be quantifiable, allowing for accurate measurement and tracking. 3. Actionable. KRIs should provide insights that enable organizations to take corrective action to mitigate potential risks. 4. Timely. KRIs should provide real-time or near real-time data, enabling organizations to respond quickly to emerging risks. 5. Accurate. KRIs should be based on reliable and accurate data, minimizing the risk of false positives or false negatives. Types of KRIs. KRIs can be categorized into different types, including 1. Leading indicators. Metrics that predict potential risks, such as changes in market condition or customer behavior. 2. Lagging indicators. Metrics that measure the impact of past events, such as financial losses or reputational damage. 3. Quantitative indicators. Metrics that use numerical data, such as credit scores or financial ratios. 4. Qualitative indicators. Metrics that use non-numerical data, such as customer feedback or employee sentiment. Examples of KRIs. Here are some examples of KRIs across different industries. 1. Financial services. Credit default swap or CDS spreads. Value at risk or VAR metrics or loan to value or LTV ratios. 2. Healthcare. Patient satisfaction scores. Hospital acquired infection rates or medical error rates. 3. Technology. System downtime metrics. Cybersecurity threat detection rates or software development cycle times. 4. Manufacturing. supply chain disruption metrics, product defect rates, or equipment maintenance schedules. Benefits of KRIs. Implementing KRIs can provide several benefits, including 1. Improved risk management. KRIs enable organizations to identify and mitigate potential risks before they materialize. 2. Enhanced decision-making. KRIs provide insights that inform strategic and operational decisions. 3. Increased efficiency. KRIs help organizations focus on high-priority risks and optimize resource allocation. 4. Better compliance. KRIs can help organizations demonstrate compliance with regulatory requirements and industry standards. 4. What's the difference between KRI and top 10 risk in banking, for example? Key risk indicators, or KRIs, and top 10 risks are two related but distinct concepts in risk management. Key risk indicators, or KRIs. KRIs are metrics that measure and monitor specific risks within an organization. They provide early warnings of potential risks and enable organizations to take proactive measures to mitigate them. KRIs are typically used to track and manage risks on an ongoing basis. Top 10 risks. The top 10 risks, on the other hand, refer to a list of the most significant risks facing an organization, typically identified through a risk assessment process. This list is often used to prioritize risk mitigation efforts and allocate resources accordingly. The top 10 risks are usually identified and reviewed periodically, such as annually or biannually. Key differences. Here are key differences between KRIs and top 10 risks. 1. Purpose. KRIs are used for ongoing risk monitoring and mitigation, while the top 10 risks are used for risk prioritization and resource allocation. 2. Scope. KRIs are typically focused on specific risk categories or processes, while the top 10 risks provide a broader overview of the organization's most significant risks. 3. Frequency. KRIs are usually monitored and reported on regular basis, for example, monthly or quarterly, while the top 10 risks are typically reviewed and updated less frequently, for example, annually. 4. Metrics. KRIs are based on specific metrics and data, while the top 10 risks are often based on a combination of quantitative and qualitative factors. Example in banking. In banking, for example, KRIs might include metrics such as 1. Credit risk, loan-to-value or LTV ratios, credit scores or default rates. 2. Market risk, value at risk or VAR metrics, stress testing results or market sensitivity analysis. 3. Operational risk, system downtime metrics, error rates or compliance breach rates. On the other hand, the top 10 risks in banking might include 1. Credit risk, 2. Market risk, 3. Operational risk, 4. Regulatory risk, 5. Reputation risk, 6. Cybersecurity risk, 7. Liquidity risk, 8. Interest rate risk, 9. Compliance risk, 10. Strategic risk. I hope this helps clarify the difference between KRIs and top 10 risks. 5. Did both KRI and Top 10 Risk state how to mitigate the risk? While both key risk indicators, or KRIs, and Top 10 risks identify potential risks, they may not necessarily provide detailed mitigation strategies. KRIs typically focus on monitoring and measuring specific risks, providing early warnings of potential issues, while KRIs may suggest some general mitigation strategies. They often do not provide detailed, actionable plans for risk mitigation. For example, a KRI for credit risk may track loan-to-value or LTV ratios, but it may not provide specific guidance on how to mitigate high LTV ratios, such as 1. Implementing stricter lending criteria. 2. Increasing collateral requirements. 3. Enhancing credit monitoring and review processes. Top 10 risks. The top 10 risks, on the other hand, often provide a more comprehensive overview of an organization's most significant risks, while they may not provide detailed mitigation strategies for each risk. They often include some general recommendations or controls to mitigate the risks. For example, a top 10 risk report might identify credit risk as a significant risk and recommend general mitigation strategies, such as 1. Implementing a credit risk management framework. 2. Enhancing credit risk monitoring and reporting. 3. Developing a credit risk mitigation plan. However, the report may not provide detailed, actionable plans for implementing these strategies. Separate risk mitigation plans. In many cases, organizations develop separate risk mitigation plans that provide detailed, actionable strategies for mitigating specific risks. These plans are often developed in conjunction with the risk management team, business units, and other stakeholders. For example, a credit risk mitigation plan might include specific strategies such as 1. Implementing a credit scoring model to evaluate borrower creditworthiness. 2. Establishing collateral requirements for certain types of loans. 3. Developing a loan review process to ensure compliance with credit policies. 6. So, in GCG, we assess risk management in generic terms, while in financial, like banking or insurance industry, we use more specific measurement. In good corporate governance, or GCG, risk management is often assessed in more general terms, focusing on overall risk management framework, risk culture, and governance practices. However, in the financial services sector, such as banking and insurance, risk management is assessed during more specific and technical measurements, such as value at risk, or VAR, expected shortfall, or ES, and other advanced risk metrics. These specific measurements are necessary in the financial services sector due to complex and nuanced nature of financial risks, as well as the need to comply with regulatory requirements and industry standards. So, while GCG provides a broader framework for assessing risk management, the financial services sector requires more specialized and technical approaches to risk management, which is reflected in the use of specific risk metrics and measurement. This is the end of Chapter 21, Risk Management. Thank you so much for listening. Could I ask you for a favor? Please like, comment, share, and subscribe this channel. For inquiries, please contact my Instagram, DiniDaily_coaching. And please support our online store at 14th.